You are now live. What's up, y'all? Hope y'all tune in for a good one. It's gonna be a serious one, y'all, for real. Very uncomfortable one, too. So, I hope y'all ready. Waiting for co-hosts. Cuz those drop on. Y'all ready. Yo.
What's going on, cuz? How you doing?
Man, I'm good, man. What's happening? How you doing, bro?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Man. Just had a crazy weekend.
You say what now?
Just had a little crazy weekend.
It's a crazy weekend.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. All right. Enjoy how you enjoyed your birthday. You know, you just recently had a birthday last week for
Yeah,
those who know.
yeah, man. I did. It was a great birthday, man. Very great. Had an awesome time. Kicked it with the wife and just explored Atlanta as much as we could. But it was
Now,
great, though. How about you, man?
man, just did some housework this weekend, backyard together, trying to, get shit, back right or how we want it. Feel me? That's about it, dude.
I get you. I got you on that. Well, yeah, man. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. Welcome to Uncomfortable Combos podcast. And
Yes.
we about to
Yes.
bring on our special guest, Brittany Williams, also the brand of B. So get ready for a good one. She's about to talk about her book. So we're
Yep.
about to get her on right now.
No doubt. Boy L to the Izzo. Welcome, y'all. Hope y'all ready for a good one. About to bring her in. Ba, ba, ba. Tap her on in. Let's
What's
get
up,
it.
B?
What's the deal?
Good. Can you hear me?
Yep,
Yep,
we can.
hear you good.
Okay. I'm new to all this live stuff, so y'all got
No,
very
it's all good.
It's all good. This is a very family-oriented space, safe space. We all, we talk about a lot of uncomfortable things, as you know, but we are family. We like to dialogue and ideas from each other. Just relax and kick.
all right,
Yeah,
but
definitely. Definitely. So how you been, B?
I've been good and working like a slave, feels like.
I already know. I already know how that go. So what made you start your book P.O.U.R?
mm, well, so I actually started blogging first before I did my book. Uh, and I started, telling short stories, like just little things, little bits I pick up here and there, and people were responding to it and replying. Initially, it started off as a journal, and I was kind of journaling my thoughts and stuff. And one day I invited, we got those nosy friends went over, and my journal was left out, and they started. And I go to the bathroom, and I got here out, and I was like, "Yo, you read my stuff?" And they're like, "This is really good, though. You should share it." And I was like, "I don't really know." Um, but I did. I started with like generic Wix website, and I started posting, stories, and people were responding to it. Like, man, that really helped me, and reaching out to me for more. And so, really wasn't thinking much of it. I put out the content, and people responded to it. So, one of the things that I realized people were responding to the most was when I would speak about depression and stuff. And I went through my struggles, and people were asking me questions. So I was like, well, why don't I just write, my experience and let them know what I went through, let them know that they aren't alone. And I got some pretty good feedback. Pretty dope.
Yeah.
Nice. Nice. That's cool. That's cool. I was really wondering how, because I mean, every time somebody go through something, their first thing is not to, write a book. So I was just curious about that. Like, and obviously, the viewers would like to know as well. Um, Lo, you got any questions?
All right, go ahead, Fred. Just tapping in to explore her ideas on why she came out with this book. I was very intrigued with the book. And what made me read, I was reading it, I thought of a friend of mine who's going through a situation. I'm not going to put his name out there or a situation, but he has a lot of demons that, are similar, with the drinking and just, excessive, just partying and things of that nature. Just something to, I guess, how you felt when it came to, being around or having one, around you. Um, when you said in the book, yeah, it was the situation with your grandmother, comment about rest. That moment, like, hit you. Like, what was your reaction to her saying that, and then possibly having that head that you are depressed, but you just maybe the night, nah, I'm not depressed, whatever. But actually hearing someone telling you, what was your immediate? How did you like take it? Like, you offended? Was you pissed off? Was it something like, but she's right? How did you react to that when you kind of like got hit with reality, basically?
Yep. So in a way, I felt justified in my, but at the same time, it was scary because we don't talk about it, especially in the Black community. We don't talk about depression. Like, you give it to God. So it was weird to hear her say that. 'Cause like, she would ask me, like, what are you doing? Sleeping? And I was back, and she called me back. She's like, what are you doing? I was like, and she's like, you've been asleep all day. And I was like, I don't really feel like doing anything but sleeping. And so she would ask me a couple other symptoms that I was having, and she's just like, it kind of sounds like you're depressed, like you're dealing with a little bit of depression. And first of all, I was like taken aback. And then I was like, how do you have a little bit of depression? I don't understand. You either have depression or you don't. But she didn't want to scare me, obviously. So she said, a little bit of depression, but it was kind of like a shocker. And I was, stressed about it for a while. Like, okay, how do I get out of it? Because, in our community, again, we're taught to like kind of deal with it and keep it moving. So yeah, it was definitely a wake up call for sure.
Yeah, it was like a stress reliever, like you say. It was like, all right, now I can live in my truth, kind of. I can live like, okay, all right, I'm here now. I'm recognizing I have an issue. I'm recognizing I need the help, and I need to, follow whatever steps I need to do. But
Hmm.
those the best route that you chose, what you thought was, and that's understandable. A lot of us go through depression hits at, I guess, in ways where it comes out of nowhere. I guess it's whatever your life situation have,
Right.
whatever you're going through in your life, it just kind of just sets in, and then when it sets into you, you don't know what to do, and you don't know why it's happening. Like, I've had some friends, in college who were depressed and going through that, and before, they would tell me stories about them just breaking out crying for no reason, you know,
Hmm.
and at all, just breaking out crying and having no clue of why they're feeling so down and sad. But I'm just glad after reading your book and just hearing your story, which I want you to share more about. I'm glad that you're here to actually honestly tell us. Like, man,
Thank
you went through some very serious, heavy shit, and I salute you. You listening to that good voice, going through steps to get to that recovery. Salute you on.
you for sure.
The part that I found like really intriguing about your book was the part where you talked about checking yourself in.
Mm.
What was that like when you actually went through that process of going in to check yourself in to an asylum to say, hey, look, I think I'm not gonna be all right if I'm
Right.
left alone.
So, um, well, I guess I'll start. So I've struggled with suicide thoughts and ideation and attempts. First was in 2009 in college. The second two times were in 2017, and then again this year. Actually, I just got out of the hospital in May. The difference in my experience, I realized there wasn't much that was different, and like from 2009 to 2022, it's like, okay, not much has changed, and that's not scary to me. Checking yourself in, or actually not, it's not what they say, you know, in the commercials. It's like, oh, if you need help, or you know, call this person. Like, my last visit, I I wanted to 2 hours texting a helpline. And it's so the helpline, they're volunteers. They're not necessarily licensed. Which, you know, bless their heart for in there for some of the things, but it's difficult because they, you know, they're really giving generic answers. So after you spend your time talking to them, they, you know, ask you if you're safe or not, and then they direct you to the emergency room, which is where I ended up. The first time I actually walked into a police station because I was like, you know, police station help, right? And that didn't go well. They put me in the back of the ambulance and shipped me away from home. I was out of the city. And they sent me into the psych ward and told me that I had to stay. Otherwise, they would get a court order to hold me there for a week, a month, however they fit. So that was kind of scary. I signed the paperwork, and, you know, my parents came to visit me. They said, I was like, okay, I get to go home now, right? They're like, you can't go home. You signed the papers. You're stuck here for at least 3 days. So that was my first experience. The second experience, I feelings like I can't do it. It's too much. I'm done. And check P.O.U.R. sent me. They sent me through triage, took my blood pressure and everything. And then they sent me to what they call the chest pain unit, which is the psych ward. They just don't want you to panic that you're going to the psych ward. But instantaneously, I'm in there, I'm talking to doctors, and the doctors are telling me I don't belong here. You know, they're asking me questions about, you know, where do you work? And I have a good job. Are you hurting for housing right now? I'm like, no, I have a house. You know, I'm a homeowner. Okay. Are you safe at home? Is someone putting their hands on you, hurting you? And I'm like, no. Then they started asking me questions like, you're educated, you college, are your parents? And they're asking me all these questions. They're like, you don't belong here. And I'm like, just based off of that, how are you going to tell me that, you know, I don't belong here? Mind you, I agree, because you're in there with, you know, people who have different mental illnesses than you. You know, they might be schizophrenic, or they might have dementia, or, you know, so you do feel out of place, but at the same time, it's like, okay, I can't go home. So what do I do?
What place do you run to? I read
Mm-hmm.
you know, therapy. You those two, because we believe in God and Creator of all things. So without His help, or not saying without His help, but if you ran to Him and there's no solution, and you ran to therapy, there's no solution. You actually going through these situations, doing this is like where do you go? Where do you turn to?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's heavy. That's real heavy. I noticed. I wouldn't say I'm depressed already. You know, when you have in your book where you said you need a drink. Yeah, you have those moments where you like, man, I just need a drink. So at that time, when you felt like you needed to transition to where it was like you needed to drink to where, all right, I would like a drink. Got to that part, or you completely just relax from just all that you used to indulge in. Period. How are you handling these demons?
So I like to specify that, like, I don't, like, book is not a don't drink. I mean, I have a drink right here. But I I transitioned from needing a drink to like, okay, I can handle it. I can take control because things were going left for me. Every time I drank, something bad would happen. I got in a car accident. I, you know, would wake up and not know where I was or who I was with or what happened the night before. And, you know, on top of it, like, these are expenses. So you have expenses for, you know, drinking and driving and car accidents. And I didn't have the money for these things. And so it became a more of a burden to me than a relief. Like, I was like, this is causing even more trauma. So I'm gonna just chill. And again, like, I still day, it's a daily battle. Sometimes I'm just like, okay, it's been a day. I'm gonna have something. But it's just maintaining that control and learning your limit. I really had to just learn my limit, or learn, like, drink socially, not home by yourself and things like that. So
yeah, that's what's up. That's what's up. It's dope. I like that. You muted, cuz.
I said, how did you figure out what learning your limit was? Like, what was that process like?
trial and error. So you know, going into it, when you're, or when I can't speak for everyone, but when I was in that phase, I put everything down. So whether it was vodka, tequila, gin, someone's offering me a shot, I'm taking it. I'm not turning it down because I want to escape for the moment. It really became learning, okay, I can't drink gin. I can't drink this because it takes me over the top. Like, I'll settle for something clear, or, you know, when you're drinking it straight as opposed to mixed drinks. With a mixed drink, you can't really tell how much you're taking in, and it goes down, you know, really easily. So I switched and I stopped using chasers just to, you know, get a feel for, okay, where am I starting to get a little, you know, loopy, so to speak. And then it's weird, but I would watch my eyes. So I would go to the bathroom, like, just take random bathroom breaks, and I would look at myself in the mirror, and how I would say, okay, if someone walked in and saw me right now, would I be embarrassed? Would I be ashamed of how intoxicated I am? And it actually kind of helped, because it's like, okay, you're becoming ashamed of yourself. So chill, you know, pull it back a little bit. And then just talking to friends too, you know, it helps to have those people in your circle that say, hey, you know, maybe you've had enough, or maybe it's too much. Maybe it's time to go home. So I appreciated having those people in my corner to help me with it as well.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And it's good that you had a great support system around you, because without that, you know, there's no telling what would have happened. So that's awesome that you had a great support system.
Mm-hmm.
I remember seeing, actually, one of my favorite parts of the book was the little bit that you had about self-awareness, like how self-awareness takes a lot of work, training yourself to be consciously aware of feelings, and you like normally react to a situation, and then training yourself to instinctively change those habits is hard. It's expected to be, but that doesn't mean you give in. Like that, and you also said keep fighting at the end. I love that part, because a lot of people do not have any self-awareness whatsoever, and they just go crazy.
Mm-hmm.
They go crazy, and I think that self-awareness part of it is a big deal, because it makes you more confident in who you are and where you need to be and what changes you need to make. So that's like one of my favorite parts of the book.
Yeah.
Like, I really enjoyed that bit.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, no problem.
That was a good, yeah, that was a good recite. But it's like, you know, with the accountability, what you were saying, how, you know, people that have self-awareness, most of the times I think people are self-aware. It's just that having that accountability and getting that denial, getting over
Yeah.
that, like, all right, look, because honestly, I had that same thing too. I had that denial, like, I don't need therapy. I don't need no therapy. I don't need no therapy. And just recently, you know, months back, I just had this moment where I was just going through something, and I'm just like, no, I need some therapy, because there was a lot of answers that I do need answered. So I need questions. Excuse me, I'm talking all over the place. I have some questions that I need answered. So I'm like, yeah, I need therapy. So I came to grips with that. So it's all about that accountability and being just coming to grips with it and just going the fact that you need the help and getting. That's what we need, man. We need that. That's
Okay.
good to that though.
Okay.
What did you look to gain after writing your book? Like as far as reaching out to other people?
Um, two things. I did write it for, in hopes that I was going to help someone else that was struggling or felt like they were by themselves, or, if I could help one person, I was content with that. Another thing I guess I was looking to gain was just peace with myself. I held on to this book for a really, really, really long time. I rewrote it like 3 times, trying to find my angle, my voice, really. Um, and I was carrying it because I'm like, okay, once it's done, then it's done. So then what, And then it was kind of my baby, and it's like, okay, if you put it out there, there's that fear, like, what are people gonna say? I put it out, and my boss read it, and I really would like to know how he got it. But it was just that, these are very vulnerable moments, so there was that fear, but I really just wanted to be able to help somebody else that's struggling, or, it's okay to reach out for help. If one person says, okay, I need help, even if they don't know what the help is, just having, being able to help with somebody. I really feel like we don't go through things for no reason. And so, and I had a come to Jesus moment where I just asked him, I was like, okay, why? Why me? Why what I do? And when will it stop? And his response literally to me was, share. You're not sharing. So that's what.
I understand that.
Yeah, you know what? Wow, that just wow, just saying that one word, that was powerful because you sharing this, just us doing this and interviewing you and you putting this information out, like this can honestly somebody can watch this feed and it could save their life. You
Yeah, absolutely. Did anybody?
your
Oh, go
story
ahead.
saved thousands, millions of lives, and that's why I say it's great that you are here to be able to share this story. I'm glad that you prevailed in your situations that you went through, and you're here now. And even though you may go through your relapse and you may stumble, because everybody falls short, it just happens. It's human nature.
Yep.
So we have our moments, and you go through your necessary steps to keep that fire going, and I salute you. Like I really am proud of you. Like some people don't even do anything that you're doing. Some people have just went on ahead and just took the leap or took the gun and just took it off. So the fact that you just was like, you know what, no, I got a purpose, and God spoke to you. That's why having that spiritual connection with God is very key, because that's why, even though, yeah, you might have ran to God and you might have felt like, you might not have had some results, but he was there and he was guiding you through. That's why you are here, gave you a purpose. This is your purpose, to share your story. So that's what's up.
How many people reached out to you after they heard the book? And or not even just how many, but what did you hear after people read the book?
Um, I had people call me crying, which was kind of weird. I mean, I don't really know what to say. It's tough taking your roses when you're still here, or hearing, oh, good job, and you're like, oh, I really didn't do anything. But to feel people actually reaching out and saying, hey, I responded to it, or I started the process on my own. I started journaling. I started writing. Just congratulating me on on releasing it, one, self-publishing, and then two, the transparency and putting that out there really meant a lot. Like, I was emotional over it. It was overwhelming. I released it on my birthday, so, and on top of all the birthday blessings, I was getting people calling me in saying, we appreciate you being here. So it was really just overwhelming.
Yeah, I bet it was. That was dope the way you did it too. I like that. I
Yeah.
like,
So how did your as far as like, you know, people reading it, how did your inner circle, like your family members, you know, if they read it, how did they perceive the book and how did they react to it?
Um, I kind of figured my dad wasn't going to read it. He hasn't read it. My mom read it. I was actually kind of surprised that she read it, but she's very, into what I post on social media and how it's perceived. So, kind of probably shouldn't have surprised me that she actually read it, but um, it actually messed with me when she read it because she made a comment to me like, "Oh, I didn't know you were going through so much." But I can specifically remember trying to talk to her about it. So that one was tough. But I had friends reach out to me that I hadn't talked to in a while, and they read it and they were like, "Yo, this is really good." Even if they didn't have any idea, like I had no idea. I'm sorry. I got a lot of apologies, like I'm sorry I wasn't there, but I'm like, okay, that wasn't the purpose. That wasn't my intent. Um,
right.
but yeah, I had a lot of my family, aunts, uncles, cousins read it, and I didn't think they paid attention like that, so it was really cool.
Oh, nice.
That's awesome.
A good turn. What's
Yeah.
up?
Yeah, that's awesome that you got that support. You know what I'm saying, and that feedback, that positive feedback at that. That's important as well. So I'm glad to hear that because I love the book, so that was great. But
Mhm.
before we let you get up out of here, what was it? Who impacted you the most when they came to you about your book?
Mm. Um, that's a tough question. That's a really tough question. I want to say my aunt. And the reason being is because she is not my blood aunt. She was an aunt by marriage and now they are separated. But her coming to me and saying, it helped her. She wished she knew. Um, and just reaching out after that, there was that separation in the family and she had, details. Like she broke it down for me, and it was all through text message, but it really like touched me because there was that separation and that rift in the family. But I love her nonetheless, and she loves me nonetheless. But her words and what she said, and just acknowledging that she was able to see some of it, some of what I was going through, it meant a lot. It meant a lot to me, and I appreciated her for that and taking the time to read it and everything.
That's what's up.
So,
That, that's definitely what's up. Well, B, tell people where to find your book.
yeah, everybody know how to find your book and your pod and all that and what you got going on.
All right. So my book is available on Amazon Kindle. I don't have physical copies yet, because I am struggling with publication, but it is available on Amazon Kindle. It's called P.O.U.R, P.O.U.R. It's an acronym. And it's how to cope with depression while controlling what's in your cup. You can find my podcast, which I need to pick back up. You be on me about it. I'm gonna get there. I promise. I'm gonna get
I get you
Okay.
back on.
uh, the Naked Homie podcast. It's on Amazon, Spotify, Google Play, all of those good places. But yeah, you can follow me on Instagram here. I post here more often than anywhere else. So
That's what's up. Thank you.
Oh,
Thank you so much for your time, B. We
appreciate
appreciate you.
it. No doubt.
thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah, no problem. All
Good
right,
one.
now.
See ya.
That
Yeah,
was good, bro.
yeah,
Very,
that was very informative.
very
Could,
good.
have you ever dealt with depression? And if you have, what did you go through at the time that you was going through it?
I think it was around the time when I moved back with my mom and just dealing with all that situation with, co-parenting and job loss. And then, my dad died. Like, that was a big issue for me with my father. And I don't think I coped with that thoroughly, too. And I think that was a reason being because I wasn't necessarily crying, but I did sleep a lot. I did have moments where I just felt like, blah, just going through the moments of, just trying to find work and get myself back on my feet and all of that. Yeah, I would say around that time. But for me, how I dealt with it, I just dealt with it just living and going about my day to day. Because I really didn't, I would say when I was having an interview with B, take that accountability.
Right.
Guess would say come to grips or seek the help, take that initiative to get the help to see if I was depressed. I just went with it like, all right, it's just a down moment. I'll bounce back. Just keep doing what I'm doing, keep grinding, and I'll get there. And eventually I did.
Yeah. When you went through that, when you was going through that, you said you just kept living. Now, did you realize that you may or may not have developed some type of habits in that process?
Recognizing and thinking back, possibly so, yeah. I fell off, or I would say I fell off on my good habits and picked up on
Got
bad.
you. Got you. Now with me, when I was going through depression, I was with my ex, and I didn't even realize I was depressed. That's the scary thing about being depressed.
Yeah.
I realized I was going through a depression until I realized I was just doing too much. Like, it wasn't just me going to work, taking care of my son. Like, I was, being a cheater. I was blowing money. Like it was ridiculous how much money I was running through. I even went through the process of messing up my own credit, and I did not. That's when I knew I was going through something. I was messing up my credit. I mean, running the cards up, and I didn't care. I didn't care. I would make the money back to pay on my credit card and everything. And I would still just go back. Oh, you know what? I need this. Oh, I need that. I didn't need none of the stuff that I bought. Nothing. Like, because I got rid of some of the stuff that I bought throughout the depression. And I was like, yo, why did I buy this? I didn't like, bro.
Yeah, but
Yeah, and I'm looking at some of this stuff. I'm like, yo, I'm like, Sheena was on my wife was on my head, something terrible. She like, why do you have this? Why do you have that? I said, baby, this was before you. I bought this crap when I was in a slump, and I didn't even realize I was in a slump till it was too late, way too late. So, I'm donating stuff, selling things, all of that, and I'm just like, wow, I had a problem. I'm looking at some of the stuff in my closet and I'm like, yo, this is ridiculous. Like, this is what depression is. I don't ever want to be here again. And at that point, that's when I started my process of getting closer to God. What's up?
nah, did you saying that about your habits? I had a similar habit, and just thinking about that, that's crazy. And it's not having this conversation, thinking back when you was asking me about, the bad habits and things of that nature. That was my bad habit. It was spending. Like, I was spending more than what I should be doing. Usually, times like when you're going through that, losing a job, things of that nature, you want to save and chill. And I had my down moments of feeling some sort of way. It was like, all right, you know what, I'm about to go hit the mall. All right, I'm about to go see what's online. All right, I'm about to go hit the Nike store. All right, I'm about to go here. I'm about to go there, instead of just chilling. And that is it, bro. That was the bad habit.
Okay.
Even though I would do it when I was working, but when I was working, it wasn't more so, all right, I'm feeling bad, let me go down to the Nike store. Nah, with, budget, put stuff away, sell this shoe, sell that shoe, trade here, trade there. But I would, do it in moderation. It wasn't just crazy. But when I was fired and going through all that stuff I mentioned, then that's when it got rapid because it made me feel good at the moment. It was like, you know what, I need that fix. So
Right.
that's what it was.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anybody want to come on and talk about, you know, when they realized they were depressed at any moment? You can give us 2-3 minutes of your time. You know, just please try to stick to the script and get to the point as fast as you can so other people can come on. So anybody want to join us, come on and join us. Share your story when you realize you went through a depression and how you got up out of it. But yeah, man, it's, you know, at one point, cause I'm not gonna lie to you, at one point I really felt like depression was a choice. I felt like people chose to be depressed and I was wrong. Like cause I'm looking at people go through stuff and I'm like, some of the stuff that I'm hearing is self-inflicted. You can get out of this situation. I've bounced back through some stuff that most people wouldn't even have survived. So, and you have too. So I felt like it was no excuse to be in a slump like that.
Right.
But like I've said before and others said, you're never gonna understand it until you go through it.
Right.
So when I went through it, I got it. I said, oh wow, I was so wrong about believing that this was a choice. So I when I was thinking like that, I don't know what I was going through. I think I was feeling myself, you know. What's up, cuz?
No, what's going on?
Not much. Good.
I'm good. Y'all good?
Oh yeah.
Out, you know it. Just doing what we do.
Man, so this is definitely a touchy subject for me. I've hit the lows a few times in life. I think the worst time is when my grandmother passed. I was literally in denial. Like, he actually helped me save myself because I was on the verge of, like, I didn't care, reckless. I was doing all kind of stupid shit just to be like, well, let me get myself killed so I can just go be with her. I was on some crazy suicidal shit. Like, I had friends that I just met in college and they had motorcycles. I don't know these niggas like that, but I'm on the back of that bitch while we going 150 up 75. Like, on some dumb, because like that fast adrenaline rush, like that's what I craved when I was depressed at that time. Like, if it wasn't nothing popping, then I ain't want to do it. And the alcohol, I used to fall asleep in the bathtub with a bottle of Bacardi. Like, it was just bad.
And that's why you don't really mess with alcohol now, huh? Now I get it. I get
it. Yeah, I hit some low times. I used to have, I wasn't even old enough to drink. I had alcohol bottles just lined up in my apartment. And it was just me. I would barricade myself in that bitch, being there smoking blacks, drinking, just getting fucked up by myself. Music black. I can't hear nobody knocking on the door, like on some crazy shit. So that depression is definitely something that's scary, honestly. That was, now that I look back on it, like that was a scary ass time in my life. Like being suicidal like that, and not necessarily like, oh yeah, I'm about to go shoot myself or I'm about to go hang myself or nothing like that, but just doing dumb shit that I know possibly, potentially high risk that I could, you know, possibly off myself. And now, you know, looking back at that situation, I'm glad that I made it through, and like, and it was nothing but God. Like, just praying to God, you know, get me through this situation. I know I can make it. I always said that you know, if she died, that I would, you know, die too. I felt like a piece of me died, but there was still a lot of life in me to live, and I had to realize that.
right. I'm glad you grips and got up out of that.
Oh yeah, it was a struggle, but I appreciate the struggles. That's what makes character.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We appreciate you, sis, for real.
Problems.
Thanks, my love.
Anybody else want to come on? Share your story, man. Share your story. All right. You know this is a safe place.
Yeah, Cuzzo. Cuzzo, sis, Cuzzo. Hop on. It should be coming in a minute.
Okay.
Yeah. I accepted her request, but it should be moving a little funky, man. I don't know what's going
Yeah,
on with it.
but his internet ain't right all
I
the way.
accepted her. Hey, there we
What,
go. Hello, cuzzo. What's the deal? How you doing?
Hey, wrong cousin. I was trying to go live on mine, but it's acting weird. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Okay, cool. I'm just gonna go off of one of the times where I was depressed, which was postpartum depression after I had my child.
Ooh.
Um, that, whew, and I've been depressed for like I've had reoccurring depression for like years, but that hit me hard. I remember one time I was in the bathroom and I had like something in my hair. I had like a weave in my hair, and I basically ripped out my hair because I was having like a meltdown. And it was like 3 a.m. in the morning. My child was up. He was crying. I tried to wake up my boyfriend. He was up, but he wasn't taking fast. He wasn't getting fast enough for me. So I got up and I was just really, really tired. And King just kept crying and crying. So I started to cry. And then I was just like, you know what? I'm hot. I'm irritated. I'm sleepy, sleep deprived. He just keep crying. So went in the bathroom, took a pair of scissors, and I basically ripped out my hair, almost cut off all my hair, basically. And he had to come in there and was like, what are you going through? So I told him, and he was like, it's okay, calm down. He had to get my sister, wake her up, because we lived with her at the time. She had to basically calm me down as well. They also had to call my mom to help me calm down. And basically, if you are going through any type of depression, whether it is high functioning depression or postpartum depression or just regular depression in general, I would say don't be scared to let somebody know, because it was multiple times where I definitely was going to take my own life. And that's not just with postpartum. It was with postpartum too, but you got to think of it as it's going to be people that's going to miss you. Don't think that no one's going to miss you if you decide to try to do it. It's not worth it. It's going to be sad, scary, and people will blame themselves, and you don't want them to have that blame or have that harboring on their heart. So I would say speak up, say your piece. If you're going through it, seriously, seek help. Talk to somebody, get therapy if need be. But seriously, talk to somebody. It will literally help you out so much more than what you think it wouldn't.
I got a question, cuz, and thank you. That was very touching, and I'm glad that you didn't, successfully take your own life or decide to do it or even try to do it.
Right.
As a parent, you talked about postpartum. Have you felt at any time like you wanted to just give up, like, as a mom, like, you know what, I can't do this, like I just can't do
Oh
this?
yeah, that's now. That doesn't really go away, I would say. Like it it is hard. Um it is tiring.
How do you handle those thoughts?
Um don't make me cry. Uh, I personally see how it would affect my child if I don't do good.
Right.
If I don't try to succeed, I think about how would it affect him.
Mm.
If I feel like it's not going to affect him in a positive way, I'm not gonna do it. I would talk to his dad or my mom or his other grandparents, basically telling them what's going on, so they can basically help me out, because I do a lot of things by myself and I try not to. So that's something that I'm still working on, is
Okay.
trying to still get that help and speak out on that part. But I really, realistically, I have to think about what would be best for him, best for King. And if me not trying and just basically sitting on my ass and not doing anything, that's not going to benefit him in any way. So I try, even if I
That,
don't want to.
that's good. Hey,
Yeah.
cuz before you go, I got a quick suggestion. Listen, sometimes praying don't work right away. Sometimes going to therapy don't work right away. Start going to church though, because you're gonna hear something right then and there, and it's gonna hit you, and you gonna change. It's gonna change everything for you. And sometimes it might take a minute to even sink in, but start going to church as much as you possibly can. I know everybody ain't gonna make it every Sunday. Even I don't make it every Sunday, but I'm telling
Hmm.
you, he's gonna say something. The pastor is gonna say something that's gonna resonate with you, and you're gonna be like, "Wow, I needed to hear that." All right, I'm about to step it up, and I'm gonna be good. All right,
All right. I will
stay
do
strong.
that.
So thanks for sharing your story. Now I
You're
appreciate
welcome.
you. No doubt.
Yeah, you know what's
Big
crazy about
wow.
what you say?
No, I said that was touching right there, man. Wow.
Yeah, yeah. I was about to speak on that because I actually thought about taking myself out of the game before,
Mm,
and I didn't really plan it or nothing like that. It was just a thought because of all the the trials and tribulations I've been going through as far as my kid's mother, and it's been happening since since we separated. On top of me being with my wife, and it was like I was between a rock and a hard place. It's like, am I gonna be a husband or am I gonna be a father? And when I got into that place where I felt like I was stuck, I was ready to go.
mm,
So that was it was very interesting to hear, because it was very interesting to hear that because I went through that process, and I just what I ended up doing is exactly what I told Sierra to do. Start going to church, and I started hearing more positive words. What's up, man? I started hearing more positive words, and boom, you know, I'm not gonna say I was good, but it helped out a lot. Talking to my wife, going to therapy, talking to God, as a everything started to get better. So yeah, I appreciate Sierra coming on saying that. Go ahead, Cuzzo, what's going on?
What's going on, gentlemen? How are y'all?
We
yeah, we're
good.
cool. Oh, man, you know it.
Trying to get the last of this stuff packed for this long trip.
Indeed.
So depression is a it's a touchy subject for me. Because I've always been a person in my family. Most people come to and try to have me fix stuff for them, and friends as well, and always used to make me feel bad that I never had anybody pretty much checking on me.
Mm,
Like, I call, I do the checking, but nobody really checked in on me. My first bout with depression was, of course, postpartum. My daughters were back to back. My that was hard. That was very hard to have a baby that was 2 pounds and some ounces and couldn't drink from a bottle, had to drink from a little